Hello, my arcade animals. As many of you know, CES just happened. That is the Consumer Electronics Showcase. That is where new companies or old companies showcase their new products to the consumers like us. And I wasn't there, so this is all personal opinion. But welcome back to the Most Must See channel on YouTube. Welcome to
Get over here!
Animality. So the title is a little misleading because Arcade 1-Up was there, but what they had to showcase was just that they have remade their Fast and the Furious cabinet and it's back in stock. That's all they had to say. But there's a guy called John D that used to work for Arcade 1-Up that now has a new product, but it's kind of feeling like an extenuation of Arcade 1-Up. So let's take a look at that. John D has partnered with Iconic Arcade and they've created a machine that is a 9/10 scale machine. That means it's almost full size. So what's the point of not going full deal if you're going to go that big? This is considered a XXL arcade machine. And what everybody was hoping for was something different, something new that Arcade 1-Up wasn't getting licenses to get. But what did he come out with? Street Fighter 2. Now, if you're a Street Fighter fan, Street Fighter 2 fan, whatever, this could be another option for you. This is a much larger machine than the Arcade 1-Up. But being that it's John D who used to work for the company, this feels like an extenuation and just another Arcade 1-Up product. And the people that were there at the show that have put out videos and information have basically said that this is the same quality or lack thereof of an Arcade 1-Up. This is the same half-inch, 12mm sized wood, sawdust holding hands wood. This does come in two different versions. This comes in a alpha version and the regular Street Fighter 2 version. So the Street Fighter Alpha, I don't ever remember playing in an arcade, but it may have been there, I don't know. But neither one of these machines have the exact artwork as the original cabinets. So that is a downgrade because it's not the original artwork. But this Street Fighter Alpha does look really cool. As you can see, it's got the two characters on the screen and it looks really cool. Now, when you go to Iconic Arcade's website, you have two different versions. You have the Alpha 2 version and the Street Fighter 2 version. So before we get into that, when you click on one, it brings you to another website. This is vminnovations.com. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but as you can see, this is a double XL. It's a 9/10 scale, 67 inches tall. So it is bigger than the Arcade 1-Up XL. This comes in, if you pre-order it right now, at $699.99, so $700. It's normally going to be $800, but you also get free shipping. And that's one thing that a lot of people aren't mentioning is the free shipping. So you got to factor that in if you're going to order something from online. This has free shipping. And you can do it in partial payments. You can set up $350 for your partial payment. And I'm assuming the next one will be the same price. I don't know if it's the next month or how that works. But right now, it's just a pre-order. They've also mentioned that this is just a prototype, so it's not the final product. They are taking suggestions and possibly will be different, be better. So the people that were at the show said that this marquee was washed out. The buttons and everything feel kind of cheap. They are not Sanwa or haptic buttons. They are clone buttons. They are very similar to Arcade 1-Up, and people were saying that everything on this machine felt like the quality of Arcade 1-Up, which is fine. but it's not something unique and something different. This is an XXL version of yet another Street Fighter cabinet. Like, why did he not go with something different? Why did he not give us like Tekken or, you know, something different? 720 even. Yeah, that would be cool to have some sort of skateboarding arcade machine in my house, you know, because Tony Hawk was a big part of my teenage years, the Tony Hawk games and things like that. So just something unique and cool like that would be awesome. But he went with Street Fighter 2, which has been done 50 million times. So this feels like I mentioned, it's just arcade one-up, all over, just arcade one-up again. But this is going to be running on a Raspberry Pi 5, which Raspberry Pi, you can buy that by itself and set up other things how you want it, and you can download games and, you know, create your own little system with Raspberry Pi. So that is a bonus that it does have going for it. Being able to download and install other games just from online that you can find. This comes with 14 games on it. This comes with Street Fighter 2, blah, 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 blah. Also has Street Fighter Alpha, which has not been put on an arcade machine yet. So Alpha, Alpha 2, Alpha 3, Third Strike, and also comes with some games that are on other arcade one-up systems, such as Knights of the Round, Final Fight, 1944, Pro Gear, and GigaWing 2. Now, GigaWing 2 was not on anything else, but the first GigaWing is on arcade one-ups and other machines, so the Capcom license basically is just showing the same sort of games. Has a Litfo coin door, a 19-inch BOE monitor. Now BOE is the better monitor, so that's good, but in this size of a machine, 19-inch, I mean, you can see from this picture that it looks a little small, but that does give you a bezel around it, but there's nothing on the bezel currently, it's just black. But another issue that I'm seeing is this is the power button, this red glowing thing under the speaker grills, and that's a little odd because when you're playing a game and this red thing is right in front of your eyes, that's what you're going to be drawn to. And if it's lit, is that going to shine off of the monitor? But this artwork on the arcade board is extended to underneath it, which is unique. And also, unlike Arcade 1-Up, who has all this junk of the games that are on the machine right here, this is just black around the faux coin door like it would be in a real arcade. So this is a 67-inch high machine, but you can see you're still going to be looking down at the screen. It's 28 inches from back to front and 23 inches from side to side. So I don't get it. Like, you know, for one thing, we've had arcade one-ups that have these games. It's the same thing extended. He didn't come out with something unique that interests me, and I know a lot of people feel that way also. Other than it does have Street Fighter Alpha, I'm not a Street Fighter guy. I'm a Mortal Kombat kid. So, but taking a look at the control deck, you have your two joysticks, your button layout, headphone port, player 1, player 2, and your volume, and a USB. So if you stream or things like that, you have the ability to HDMI out to your computer or however you're recording this. And that is a cool option, but you know, it doesn't interest me at all, especially being yet another game redone over and over and over. Given it's not Pac-Man, but it's also just Street Fighter. And when we take a look at the Arcade 1-Up Street Fighter 2, the HS5 version, the one that's meant to look like the original, you can see that it's 63 inches high, so you're getting, what, 4 more inches on this Media 1-Up version, 24.3 inches from back to front, 18.8 inches wide. So it is smaller, and you know, this new one's considered a double XL, but it's still the same thing. It feels like the same thing. It's from the guy that helped create the original Arcade 1-Up and was in charge of the marketing department, and so he does have the licensing to get new titles and the ability to, you know, get new things. So that's a plus for Media 1-Up, but as far as this machine is concerned, it just, it doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry. If you like it, go ahead and get it. Don't let me stop you from getting what you want. But also, the size of the machine, it's just big. I can't put full-size arcades in my house. That's why I don't have one. And this is a 90% the size of a real arcade machine. So that's another factor you have to think about. Like the 3/4 scale Arcade 1-Ups, I can put multiples where I have my other machines and just have different games. But the thing about the Raspberry Pi 5 is you're not going to necessarily be limited to Street Fighter games and what comes on the machine, because you can just take a USB stick or whatever and download some games from the internet and add it to it. Now, they're not going to tell you that, but that's the ability of a Raspberry Pi 5, and that's why a lot of people just say, oh, I'd rather emulate games than just to pay for them. So you got to think about that. So if you want to be an official Arcade Animal, hit that subscribe button, share the video, tell me what you think in the comments, and we'll catch you on the next one.